Okay, good day, students. Welcome to assessment class. And for today's discussions, we're going to tackle the basic concepts in assessment. So, what are different concepts involving assessment of student learning? But before that, let me ask you a question. How well did you cooperate during teaching learning process? So, did you know that teaching learning process involves or um, linked in assessment of student learning? It talks about the teaching strategies of the teacher, your learning strategies as a students, and how it collides to each other. No? Yung teaching learning process, hindi siya mawawala in terms of assessment of student learning. Everything that happens during discussions are involved in teaching learning process, including your activities, performance tasks, and also your examinations. So you can cooperate well in your teaching learning process through observing, listening to your teacher, um, recitations, passing the activities on deadlines or before deadlines, and etc. So let us know what are the different terms or concepts involving in assessment of student learning. So, but before that, we have our objectives. Number one is to recognize measurement, assessment, and evaluation. Second is define the rules of assessment in placement, formative, diagnostic, and summative purposes in making instructional decisions. And lastly, distinguish assessment for learning, assessment as learning, and assessment of learning. So, first concepts involved in assessment is that measurement. So, measurement means it is a process of obtaining numerical description of the degree to which an individual possesses a particular characteristics measurement and answers the questions how much. So, measurement, this is not just about numbers. Okay? So, this answer the question how much. How much the students know about the lessons. How much the students cope up with the discussions with the teacher. How much the students learns through the discussions. So, isa yun sa mga sinasagot nung term na assessment. So, aside from measurement, this is also about the performance of the child during teaching learning process. Isa po yun sa mga um, sinasagot ng katagang measurement. Okay, this is not just about numbers again. It is also about particular characteristics or performance of the students. So, next, we have types of educational measurement. Number one, or first is that norm reference test, which is a test designed to measure performance of the students compared with other students. So, ayan. So, etong educational measurement, the reference test. So it involves different types of or different set of students. So being compared to other students is what you call being subjective. Okay? Why is that it is being called subjective measurement? Measurement is that every students differ to each other. There is no children that is very the same to each other. Ibig sabihin po, magkakaiba po ang bawat estudyante. So, meaning to say, magkakaiba yung estudyante, magkakaiba yung performance nilang lahat. Kaya siya nagiging norm reference test. Okay po? So, next we have to discuss the criterion reference test. So, if norm reference test is subjective, in criterion reference test, this is also a objective measurement. Bakit siya naging objective? Compared in norm reference, the students is being compared to other students, while in criterion reference, kaya siya naging objective because the students is being compared to the preset standards or criterion standards. So, ibig sabihin, yung bawat or magkakaibang estudyante, kapag kinumpare mo sa standards, their performance is still the same. Hindi po magbabago yung mga performance nila. Okay? Kasi criteria yung tawag dito, yung criteria yung inaano sa kanya, tawag doon, kino-compared. So, unlike dun sa norm reference test, kunyari sa norm reference test, yung isang classmate mo mas magaling sa'yo, tapos yung kinumpara ka doon, edi ikaw yung mahina. So, dun naman mas mababa sa'yo, kinumpara ka doon sa mas mababa sa'yo, dun naman magiging ikaw yung magaling. Kasi nga, mas may mababa na ibang tao na ikinumpara sa'yo. Unlike in criterion reference, kapag binangga ka doon or kapag ikinumpare ka sa criteria, kahit anong gawin mo, yun at yun ang resulta, hindi tataas, hindi bababa. Okay? Kaya siya naging objective types of measurement. So, ano nga ba si objective measurement and subjective measurement? So, in objective measurement, these are measurements that do not depend on other persons or individual taking the measurements. So, alin to? So, pag sinabi natin objective measurement, ito yung type of measurement na nabibilang. This is a type also of measurement that is very specific. Okay? So, ito yung direct to the point na tinatawag na measurement. So, let me give you an example of objective measurement. Ano ba yung mga objective measurement? Okay, for example, the number of employees in TMCC. Objective yun kasi kayang bilangin. Okay? So, number of students in one class, objective measurement pa din yun. And let's proceed to subjective measurement. So, sabi, subjective measurement often differ from one assessor to the next even if the same quantity or quality being measured. So, in subjective measurement, this is broader than objective. Kung si objective ay specific, in subjective could be generalized. Okay? Masyadong malawak yung pinagkukunan ng subjective measurement. And it can differ from one another. So, ano ba yung mga subjective measurement? These are the things that cannot be countable na agad-agad. So, there are different types of assessment tools that you have to use in subjective measurement. Kung paano nga ba malalaman yung either na marami yung sinusukat or what. Okay? So again, objective is very specific and subjective measurement is very broad. Okay, we have next is assessment. So assessment, it refers to the process of gathering, describing, or quantifying information about student performance. You know, you cannot assess students without gathering information from them. Hindi mo ma-assess yung bata kapag ng isang tinginan lang. For example, mayroon ako estudyante, Maxwell yung pangalan. Hindi ko kayang i-assess na itong batang to, ng isang tinginan, itong batang to ay magaling. Itong batang to ay matalino. Okay? I can only assess, or we as a teacher can only assess students based on their performance, based on the information that we gathered from them. That is assessment. So assessment and evaluation is almost the same, but evaluation is broader than assessment naman. Okay? So, ayan, assessment. Okay, medyo ano. So, here, the question is, what is assessed inside the classroom? Or what is assessed in the classroom? So, ano ba yung ina-assess inside the classroom? First is that content standard. Okay? Talking about content standard, it is about what should the learners know about the lessons. Ibig sabihin, kapag content standard, we are talking about the subject matter itself or yung nilalaman nung mismong discussions dapat. Ano ba yung kailangan matutunan ng bata? What are the lessons that the students should have mastered? Okay, ano ba yung mismong nilalaman ng ituturo mo? And number 2, we have performance standard. So, what can learners do with what they know? Okay? So, if in content standard, this is about mastery of the lessons or what the students or the subject matter, the performance standard is what learners can do with what they know or how the students can apply the principles that they get on the content standard. So, in performance standard, the students could also mapakita ng estudyante kung ano ba yung natutunan nila at kung paano nila maa-apply yung mga natutunan na yon sa real life or also in different situations na pwede nilang ipag-applyan ng mga learnings. For example, the students know or the content of this discussion is the students must be able to read. Okay? Naturuan mo na yung bata magbasa. But in performance standards, the student should also, the students can apply yung mismong process kung paano nagbabasa. So in performance standard, dapat si estudyante without the help of the teacher, makakapagbasa na siya mag-isa. Okay, number 3 is that learning competencies refer to the QSA or the QSA, the knowledge, understanding, skills, and attitudes that the learners need to demonstrate in every lesson or activity. So, every students or ito yung isa sa mga ina-assess in the classroom, yung learning competencies of the child. Okay, it includes the knowledge, okay, what the students know about the your discussion, and the understanding that the students should be able to apply or to ano ba tawag doon, may ipakita niya na nauunawaan niya, and then yung the different skills and attitudes na dapat niya maipakita during your teaching learning process or the assessment period. So next is that concept development or defines the broad range of cognitive processes from basic to complex or the rule upon neck. Okay, or remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, and evaluating, and creating. So in concept development, this is a step-by-step procedure wherein the students would start, or you should be able to start on the LATs, and after that on the HATs. Ano ba yung sinasabi kong LATs or the lower order thinking skills? So in LATs, you have the remembering. Okay? The students must be able to remember your discussions or easily recall what you discussed during your teaching process or the discussion or the learning learning proper in a school or in a simple setup ng class discussion. So also the understanding and application, yan yung tinatawag natin na LATs. So doon ka lang. So you have to focus on the basic before going to complex. Hindi ka pwede na you're going to complex tsaka bababa ng basic. So bakit? Sometimes there are different learnings or different topics na hindi mo makukuha agad kung complex yung talon mo. So you have to adjust or step-by-step procedure wherein dito ka muna sa level na to, sunod sa level na to, sunod dito, sunod dito, sunod dito, sunod dito. Just like in creating your lesson plan. Okay? You cannot create your lesson plan without starting from your objectives. Okay? Yun yung concept development. After your objectives, you have your subject matter, you have your ano pa ba yun? Learning proper, and then lesson proper pala yun, and your application, evaluation, and then the assessment or assignment. So again, concept development is a step-by-step procedure.